This is the moment you have waited for. This is the chance to etch your name in history. Your final step of the journey starts now. A year of practice. A year of saves. A year of goals. All leading to one moment in time. Now, take a deep breath, calm your nerves, become one with the ball, and take your moment. Enjoy every second. Treasure your teammates and everyone who helped you get here. This is your moment. This is the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships.
Welcome to the 2026 Maryland State Cup Draw. My name is Brad Roos, and I'm again honored to serve as the Cup Director for this year's competition. Hopefully that opening video got all of your team excited about the new opportunities this year and the chance to attend the National Championships representing Maryland. I would like to thank all of the coaches, the managers, families, but especially the players for attending today's draw. Many people are responsible for assisting with the Maryland Cup each year, which includes MSYSA board members, staff, and a countless number of volunteers. Please let the Maryland State Youth Soccer Office know if you would like to assist at any point during the competition. Assisting with today's draw is new Assistant Cups Director Patrick Fleming, and MSYSA staff members Nathan Meadows, Bree Nardone, Paul Garza, and Priestley. 2025 was another strong year for Maryland Youth Soccer. We again sent over 30 teams to the NCS Regional Tournament and 6 teams to the National Championships. While our state is small in size, our youth soccer programs are some of the best in the entire nation. Now let's take a look at the 2025 champion team photos. And I ask the question, do you want your team to be in the picture this year? Let's begin with 3 of the changes in the State Cup competition. This year, we introduced the Winter State Cup competition, which, while the weather has caused some scheduling issues, is ongoing. The really exciting part is that the winner between the Winter State Cup and the Spring State Cup competitions will advance automatically directly to the national championships in July. In addition, we will talk about an 11U and 12U State Cup National Invitational Tournament that Maryland is hosting in June later in the program. Secondly, all the rounds will be single elimination this year. While teams have supported the quarterfinal round-robin format in the past, many clubs expressed some concern with the cost of the additional games. With that in mind, we decided for this year to go to a more cost-effective model, but the evaluation will continue as we move forward each year. The last change, which is the only actual rule adjustment, has to do with substitutions. This is a fairly significant change, so let's go over the age groups individually. For the 11U and 12U age groups, no change. Unlimited throughout the match. For the 13U and 14U age group, unlimited with 3 moments per half plus halftime. A team is allowed to substitute 3 times per half. A moment is described as any time the team subs, whether it is 1 player, 2 players, or all 7 players who are not in the match at that time. For the 15U through 19U age groups, unlimited over 4 moments per match, plus overtime. This allows 5 opportunities for substitutions in these age groups. Again, it doesn't matter how many substitutions you make at one time. The biggest change here is that a player who has been substituted in the past could not re-enter in that half, but now can, but it would count as one of the moments. Since all State Cup matches this year require a winner and overtime would be used, each team receives 1 moment in overtime plus the interval between the 2 halves for substitutions. Please reach out to me if you have any additional questions concerning this rule. As was previously introduced, all rounds for this year will be single elimination. In the age groups where there is a Winter State Cup competition, the spring champions will advance to play the Winter State Cup champion in what we are calling the National Championship Berth Match. In age groups where there is not a Winter State Cup champion, the Spring State Cup champion will advance directly to the National Championships. Each individual age group, when we conduct the draw later in the program, will explain the pathway for the National Championship. As you're watching the presentation tonight, if you are a manager or coach, you should be prepared to write down the following important dates as they are announced throughout the program. These would include the cloning of your travel roster to your State Cup roster, the roster freeze date, the deadline to submit scheduling considerations, and the assigned match dates for your age group. We will discuss these dates in detail tonight, but you can also find all of these dates in the State Cup timeline on the MSYSA website. Here is a list of this year's State Cup dates. Please note that with the exception of Saturday, May 9th, all matches will be played on Sundays. This is very important because this allows teams to schedule their league matches on Saturdays to avoid any conflicts that would lead to a league cancellation. Please note that all cup matches take priority over league matches, no matter the league or division. Here is a look at the remainder of the State Cup dates. Please pay close attention to when scheduling considerations are due online. You can find the scheduling consideration link on the State Cup page on the newly designed MSYSA website. During the actual draw, you will see exactly what dates each age group will be scheduled on. Scheduling considerations should be used to avoid head coaching conflicts or conflicts regarding outside activities. While we try to accommodate each consideration and work with the teams involved, please note that it is not guaranteed that all considerations can be approved. Referee and additional game fees will be paid online in your GotSport team account where you registered for State Cup. Referee fees will not be collected in cash at the fields before the matches. The registration fee includes the first game payment, with each additional game that a team plays after that costing $275. The additional game fee covers field fees, trainers, and other costs related to the matches that day. All payments are due no later than the Thursday before the weekend matches. Teams will be invoiced in their count for the two fees, if necessary, with the exception of Central Pay clubs who will be billed at the end of the competition. We are constantly looking at ways that we can make the program more affordable for the clubs. With that in mind, here are the referee fees for this year, which are only a $5 increase per team from last year. For the U11 and U12 age group, it will be $100 per team. For the U13 and U14 age group, $105 per team. In the U15 and U16 age group, $115 per team, and $120 per team for the U17 through U19 age group. Please note that all matches will have a three-man system and will include referee mentors and evaluators at each match. As I said earlier, please pay particular attention to the closing dates to submit conflicts for each round. For the most part, once matches are scheduled, changes will not be entertained. The rosters will be already on the match report. Only players who appear on the match report can participate. No players may be added under any circumstance. Only the team manager or representative needs to check in at the headquarters tent 1 hour prior to the match. The home team will still serve as the field marshal. The referees will check in all players and coaches on the field prior to the beginning of the match, using a standard check-in procedure for each. Teams will be notified before each weekend where the headquarters tent is located at each site. Any player or coach red-carded from their last National Championship Series match from last year that they participated in must sit out the first Cup game of this year. This includes State Cup, regional, and national competition. Please check the suspension list on the MSYSA website. As was the case last year, players sent off will remain on the bench unless deemed by the referee to be an issue, in which case they will be removed by the MSYSA representative to the headquarters tent. Suspended players can be present at the match, but cannot be in uniform and must be on the spectator side of the field. Any team personnel, which include coaches and/or spectators, are not permitted to be at the game site if they are on suspension. Now we're going to take a short break at this time and watch the video from the MSYSA State Championships at the Soccerplex last year. Hi, this is Brad Roos, Cups Director for the state of Maryland. We are here at the Soccerplex for the State Cup Championships for 2025. The competition will be fierce. We have over 6 teams that are ranked in the top 10 in the country competing here today. The winner of today's matches will advance to the Eastern Regional Competition in Loudoun. Again, congratulations to all the teams, and we look forward to Go Maryland.
We don't take it lightly. We're here to compete and represent not only our club, but also the state. So it's really important for us to perform day in and day out. And this is that first step to then go to regionals and compete at nationals.
They live for this. When you have a soccer player who loves soccer, this is it.
I was really happy and excited because this is our first state cup and it's one of the biggest games we've ever had. It means so much because I'm so honored to represent Maryland.
bond we create is it's everlasting. I mean, you're here all day surrounded by other soccer players, and it's just great to be surrounded in that environment, and they flourish in it, and it's something that you'll share and remember for the rest of your life.
It's deepened my connection with my teammates a lot. We've been through it, and we've been down a couple games. We've come back. We did it all together. People gotten injured, we held each other up, and we came through together.
So for us, that sense of pride, again, like everything else, it's just that next step for us. You're the only team from Maryland in that age group, and now you know that you're playing for all of your friends and competitors, for that matter, that are back home.
Welcome back. Now let's look at a couple of the changes and reminders about several of the Maryland State Cup rules. The State Cup is the beginning stage of the National Championship Series, which includes the National Championships. While the majority of these changes were made last year, I thought it would be important to highlight them once again. There is no requirement for any age group to have played in a USU-sponsored league to be eligible for State Cup competition. The only requirement is that the teams are registered with MSYSA U.S. Youth Soccer. The league roster is no longer used to begin the State Cup National Championship roster process. The State Cup roster is used for the beginning of the series, and continuity is 50% that must be adhered to going from State Cup to the National Championship. The only exception to this new rule is the seeding process for Maryland teams' State Cup. The 5-player transfer rule has been eliminated since the league roster is no longer used for this competition. The U18 and U19 age groups have been combined for the national championship. And a team may add a total maximum of 5 players from another club whose team has been eliminated from the NCS and is not advancing through National League. This is a huge change, as last year you were only able to add 2 players from another club. As was the case last year, there is no limit of club pass players to the national competition, as long as continuity from the State Cup roster has been met, which is 50%. Now a couple of MSYSA State Cup rule reminders. If a player is suspected of suffering a head injury, they may be substituted for evaluation without the substitution counting against the team's total number of moments, either during each half or match, depending on the age group. Simply put, if a player receives clearance from the on-site trainer, they may re-enter the match, taking out the original substitute who came on for them. The player must re-enter the match immediately after they have received clearance. The temporary substitute can then re-enter as a regular substitution. The team, though, must have a substitute available to make this change. If a player is deemed not to be able to re-enter the match, the player who came on for the head injury remains in the match but does not count as a moment. Next, teams and players can only participate in one State Cup competition per year. As previously stated, the winning team submits the match report to the tournament headquarters after the match. Also, players on approved roster, but not on the game roster, for 13U through 19U teams can have 22 players on their approved roster, but can only dress 18 for each match. Can be on the team bench, but cannot be in uniform or have their cleats on. The one exception, a suspended player is not allowed on the team bench during the match. Now, here's one of the most important parts of the presentation, which includes the rule regarding uniforms, leggings, and long sleeves. The home team wears lighter jersey and socks. The visiting team wears their darker jersey and socks. If there is a conflict, the home team must change. It would be better if teams brought both of their kits to the matches. Please note that the socks must match the predominant color of the jersey. For leggings and undershirts, especially at the beginning of the program, simplified, the home team must wear white and the visiting team must wear black or match the predominant jersey of the uniform. All matches that are tied will play 2 full overtime periods to conclusion and then FIFA kicks from the penalty mark if needed. At all sites, no alcoholic beverages, smoking, or pets are permitted at any of the sites. An awards presentation will be held at the conclusion of each championship match, and both teams are required to attend. The state will retain perpetual trophies. The teams will be presented medals and a coaching plaque. Now, let's take a short break to look at the 2025 Eastern Regional semifinal highlights that were played in Loudoun.
Our mentality as a team was just to work hard the entire time. At the end of the day, whoever works the hardest is going to get the best outcome. So we got to win every ball, every tackle, and that was just our mindset going into it. Last year, we didn't make it to semifinals. This is our first time making it, so we knew we had to give it our all to get to the finals.
The team really stepped up and got a goal in the first 5, and that kind of set the bar for the rest of the game, which we went on to score 2 more goals to solidify the win.
This is my 5th season with this group, and this is our 3rd season here at Regionals. Some of the captains in the group and the players who have been here for a long period of time really took the players under the wing that haven't been here before, and they really showed them how to win these games in a way that you can consistently do that throughout 5 games in 6 days.
We knew going into this game that they were the top seeded in the region and that they were very good. So we knew mistakes were going to happen. I think it was just like a mental game, just to stay composed and like work together as a team and adjust based on their speed of play and the way they were playing the game. And I think we did a really good job at that today.
Welcome back. Now let's look at one of the most important aspects that needs to be completed by the team administration. Regarding the official State Cup roster, as I said previously, the National Championship Series is a 2-part competition where the State Cup, in regards to roster freeze dates, begins at the round of 16. The freeze date for the girls' teams will be Wednesday, April 8th, and the boys' roster freeze date will be April 15th. As has been the case for the past several years, the State Cup rosters will be cloned by the state office from your 2025-2026 MSYSA official travel roster. Please contact your club administrator to confirm that your official roster is correct. Remember, only primary players are cloned to the State Cup roster. Total maximum roster for 13U through 19U age groups is 22 players. 11U and 12U maximum is 16 players. The rosters are cloned 1 week prior to the freeze date in God Sport under your team's State Cup account. The cloning dates are For the girls, April 1st, and the boys, April 8th. As I said earlier, the clone and freeze dates for your team are extremely important to remember. In addition, I would highly recommend that you check your official State Cup roster before the freeze date takes effect to make sure it contains all the players that you expected. Remember, only primary players are permitted on the State Cup roster. Club Pass players who might be on your league roster are not carried over and cannot participate unless they are primary on your State Cup roster. Teams again will need to submit a support ticket so that we can track rosters accurately when your team is ready for approval or if you have a need to submit questions concerning the process. Jessica Hafer, the MSYSA registrar, will assist with the State Cup roster process. Again, this year, MSYSA is providing the opportunity for businesses to become Cup sponsors. This is the largest competition that just includes Maryland and the District of Columbia teams. The direct audience footprint is impressive for businesses, with a connection to Maryland and D.C. The reach includes over 300 teams, 5,600 players, 2,000 officials, and 15,000 spectators. There are 2 categories for sponsorship: the principal name sponsor and each individual round sponsor. The benefits include, but are not limited to: 1. Advertisement of logos on all MSYSA Cup sites, including website and social media. The corporate name used in signage and in printed promotional materials. You can set up a booth at the fields or headquarters where matches are played. Signage at all of the Cup fields. Access to Cup social media sites. And the sponsor's name on awards and champion t-shirts for players to wear at the national tournament. For more information, please contact me and I will provide additional information. Now, before we begin the draw, let's look at the video from the Eastern Regional Finals from last year. As someone who has coached teams that have won national championships in the past, I know the journey through State Cup and Nationals is an unbelievable experience. While State Cup begins the journey, representing Maryland is the ultimate goal.
I think what made our group special was the togetherness that we had as a team. You know, we do have good individuals, but us collectively as a group was, what was allowed us to win so many games this week and ultimately win the final. Everyone worked hard for each other as a team. Everyone understood that the team was stronger than any one individual, and collectively they came together and produced great team performances.
I think during this final, we really came together more than we've ever had. We really understood that we had to play together to win because they're a really strong team and it was a really difficult opponent.
For this upcoming regionals, we started practicing more together to get a sense of what the tournament's gonna feel like. There are a lot of tough teams in this tournament that were really good, but we just gave it our best.
Playing against teams from different cities, different states, really prepares us, to play at a higher level. It's different cultures, different systems, and you have to adjust. Here at regionals, we've played a lot of different teams from Pennsylvania, from Maryland, from New Jersey, and I think it's made us better as a team.
Now let's get into the main portion of the program that everyone has been waiting for, the individual age group draws. The Cup competition begins at the 11U age group. Please remember as we go through the draw that there's a possibility of 4 seeded teams from the previous year: the champion, the runner-up, and the 2 semifinalists. But that team must have at least 50% returning players to their 2025-26 official MSYSA travel roster from last year's State Cup to get continuity and a seed. Again, as we go through the draw today, it is very important to note your playing dates for each age group. Now let's begin the draw with the 11U girls, where there are 4 teams. None of the teams are seeded since this is a new age group for this year. The semifinals are being played on May 17th, with the final on May 31st. So let's go to Patrick and Nathan for the draw.
The first seed is SAC Girls 2015 Pre-GA. The second seed is Bethesda E1 2015. The third seed is Coppermine SC 2015 Girls Pre-Academy 1. The fourth and final seed is SMS 2015 Girls Premier.
Okay, let's take a look at the 11U girls bracket. As you can see, there are 4 teams. The semifinals are set. It'll be SAC Pre-GA will face off against St. Mary's Premier on May 17th. In the other side of the bracket will be Coppermine Pre-Academy 1 versus Bethesda E1. This is going to be an exciting age group, especially for the fact that the winner of this age group advances to the National Invitational that we are hosting here in the state of Maryland. The draw for the 11U boys has 6 teams this year. Again, no teams are seeded since this is a new age group in the Cup competition. The quarterfinals are on Saturday, May 9th, the only Saturday in the competition, with the semifinals on May 17th and the final on May 31st. So let's go to the 11U boys draw.
In the first seed, PPA 2015 Green Boys. In the second seed, Barusa 2015 Blue. In the third seed, Tacoma Dreamers Corinthians 2015. In the 4th seed, Coppermine SC 2015 Boys Pre-Academy 1. In the 6th seed, One Nation Pre-MLS Next 2015. In the 7th and final seed, SAC Boys 2015 Pre-MLS Next.
And now we look at the 11U boys bracket. As you can see, 2 teams are automatically into the semifinals, PPA Green and Brasa Blue. For the quarterfinals, we have One Nation Pre-MLS Next will play against Coppermine Pre-Academy. And in the other quarterfinal matchup, it's Tacoma Dreamers Corinthians versus SAC Pre-MLS Next. We now move on to the 12U girls draw, which has 6 teams. The SAC Pre-GA met continuity and they are seeded first. The quarterfinals will be held on May 3rd, the semifinals on May 17th, and the finals on May 31st. Gentlemen, let's begin with the 2nd seed for the draw.
The 2nd seed is Msysa 14-15 girls. The 3rd seed is Maryland Rush 14G Spirit. The 4th seed is Baltimore Union Elite 14G. The 5th seed is SAC Girls 2014 Premier Blue. The 6th seed is Coppermine SC 2014 Girls Pre-Academy 1.
Now we look at the U12 girls. Again, just like the U11 boys, 2 teams have automatically advanced into the semifinals. That's the SAC Pre-GA and Brasa. The teams that will play in the quarterfinals is SAC Premier Blue will face off against Baltimore Union Elite. And in the other quarterfinal, Coppermine Pre-Academy will go up against the Maryland Rush Spirit. As we get ready for the 12U boys draw with 10 teams, remember that the 11U and 12U age group winners will represent Maryland at the 11U and 12U National Invitational in June. Coppermine Pre-Academy and Coppermine Pre-Academy 2 met continuity and will be seeded first and second. The round of 16 will be held on April 19th, the quarterfinals on May 9th, the semifinals on May 17th, and the finals on May 31st. Now we begin with the 3rd seed in the 12U boys draw.
In the 3rd seed, we have SAC Boys 2014 Pre-MLS Next. In the 4th seed, we have Achilles FC 14. In the 5th seed, we have PPA 2014 Green Boys. In the 6th seed, we have Bethesda Academy 1 Silver 2014. In the 7th seed, we have Bethesda Academy 1 White 2014. In the 8th seed, we have Brausa 14 Blue. In the 9th seed, we have Maryland Rush 14B. In the 10th seed, we have Elevate Soccer Academy 2014 Boys.
And now we look at the 10-team U12 boys bracket. This is the first bracket that we will have a round of 16 matches. And again, this bracket will advance the winner to the National Invitational 12U Boy State Cup Championship here that Maryland is hosting at the end of June. As you can see, there are some phenomenal teams in this particular bracket. In the round of 16, Maryland Rush will go up against Brasa Blue, which is going to be a good matchup, along with Elevate Academy versus Bethesda Academy White. Those teams, the winner of those two matches, will then advance. The winner of Maryland Rush versus Brasa Blue will go up against Coppermine Pre-Academy 1. As you can see, the second Pre-Academy team from Coppermine will go up against the winner of Elevate Academy and the Bethesda Academy White. The other quarterfinal game, PPA Green versus Achilles FC, and Bethesda Academy Silver playing against SAC Pre-MLS Next. This is the first age group where the winner will play the Winter Cup champion in the National Championship berth match on May 31st. The 13U girls has 5 teams in the draw. The Baltimore-based Spirit and Maryland Rush Blue Hawks met continuity and will be seeded first and second. The 4th seed will play the 5th seed on May 3rd. The winner will advance to the semifinals on May 10th, with a spring final on May 17th. We begin with the 3rd seed.
In the 3rd seed, we have FC Frederick 13G. In the 4th seed, we have Brausa 13 Girls Blue. In the 5th seed, we have PPA 2014 Girls Green.
Now we see the 13 girls State Cup bracket. We have 5 teams in this particular bracket. For the quarterfinals, PPA Green will go up against Brasa Blue. The winner of that match up will go against the 1st seed, the Baltimore-based Spirit, in the semifinals. The other semifinal game should be an excellent match between FC Frederick and the Maryland Rush Blue Hawks. The 13U boys has 8 teams in the draw. No teams met continuity, so all teams will be drawn. The quarterfinals are on May 9th, the semifinals on May 10th, so please keep this weekend free. With the finals on May 17th, Patrick and Nathan, throwing it back to you for this age group draw.
In the first seed, we have OBGC Rangers White 2013. In the second seed, we have Pipeline 2013 Boys Black. In the third seed, we have SMS 2013 Boys Premier. In the fourth seed, we have District Elite FC Olympic. In the fifth seed, we have Bausa 13 Blue. In the sixth seed, we have Cerritos 2013. In the seventh seed, we have OBGC Rangers Blue 2013. Finally, we have the eighth seed with Coppermine SC 2013 Boys Blue West.
And now we take a look at the 13U boys brackets. Again, there are 8 teams, so all teams will play in the quarterfinal round. The matchups are going to include OBGC Rangers White will play up against Coppermine Blue West. The second matchup is Bausa Blue versus District Elite Olympic. The bottom bracket of the quarterfinals is St. Mary's Premier versus Cerritos. And the last matchup is OBGC Rangers Blue, their other team, versus Pipeline Black. The winners of those 4 matchups will advance to the semifinals. The 14U girls has 8 teams in the draw. The Baltimore-based Crush, Baltimore Union Elite, FC Frederick met continuity and are seeded 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, making this one of the strongest groups in the girls' competition. The quarterfinals are on May 3rd, with the semifinals on May 10th, and the spring championship on May 17th. We begin with the 4th seed in this draw.
In the 4th seed, we have Maryland Rush 12G Girl Strikers. In the 5th seed, we have HES Phoenix Strikers 2012G. In the 6th seed, we have Maryland Rush 12G. In the 7th seed, we have MSI 2012 Girls Gold. In the 8th seed, we have Bury City FC 2012 Girls.
And here we are on the bracket for the 14U girls. Again, just like the previous bracket, there are 8 teams, which means that we will start in the quarterfinal round. As you can see here, the Baltimore-based Crush will play Bury City FC, and the winner of that would play the Arundel Phoenix Strikers versus the Maryland Rush Strikers. In the bottom half of the quarterfinal round, FC Frederick will play against Maryland Rush, 12U Girls, and in the final matchup, MSI Gold will play against Baltimore Union Elite. The winners of those 4 matches advance to the semifinals. Even though the 14U boys only has 7 teams this year, with the SAC Premier Blue, Baltimore Union Elite, and Total Football Friends United meeting continuity as the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd seeds, which makes this age group also one of the strongest like the girls. Quarterfinals will be on May 9th, semifinals on May 17th, with the finals on May 31st, and the winner advancing to the national championships. We begin with the 4th seed in this draw.
With the 4th seed, we have DMSA Bethesda Royal 2012. With the 5th seed, we have SMS 2012 Boys Premier Red. With the 6th seed, we have Elevate Soccer Academy 2012 Boys. And finally, with the 7th seed, we have MSI 2012 Boys Gold.
And as we look at the 14U boys bracket, they have 7 teams. So the number 1 seed for this group, SAC Premier Blue, is automatically into the semifinal round. That leaves the other 6 teams to battle it out in the quarterfinal round. Those matchups include St. Mary's Premier Red against DeMatha Bethesda Royal, then Tacoma Futsal United Friends versus Elevate Academy, and the final matchup will be MSI Gold versus Baltimore Union Elite. The winner of St. Mary's versus Bethesda would then advance to play SAC. The winner of the bottom 2 matches would then end up in the semifinal. This division is different and really important in the fact that there was not a Winter Boys State Cup division for 14 boys. So the winner of this group will go directly to the national championships representing the state of Maryland. This age group, the 15U girls, has 8 teams in the draw, with the Maryland Rush Azzurri, Severna Park Green, and Maryland Rush meeting continuity and seeded 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in our state competition. This is a very interesting group since the Maryland Rush Azzurri has already qualified for the national championships representing Maryland. We congratulate them and acknowledge their accomplishment. This means that Maryland will send 2 teams in this age group to the national championship. For this age group, the quarterfinals will be May 3rd, with the semifinals on May 10th, and the spring final on May 17th. The national championship berth match on May 31st will decide who will be the second Maryland team advancing. We begin with the 4th seed in this draw.
With the 4th seed, we have HFC United 2011-12 Girls DPL. With the 5th seed, we have Baltimore Union Elite 11G. With the 6th seed, we have District Elite FC Intensity. And with the 7th seed, we have FC Frederick 11G. And finally, with the 8th seed, we have Berry City FC 2011 Girls.
As we move on, here we have the 15U girls. Again, there are 8 teams in this bracket, which means that all of the teams will be playing in the quarterfinal rounds. Again, as I said previously, this is one of the strongest brackets because all 4 teams from last year, the champion, the runner-up, Severna Park, and the semifinalists, the Maryland Rush, are part of this group, which makes it very strong. In the quarterfinal matchups, you've got Maryland Rush Azuri versus Berry City FC, making their debut in the State Cup. In the second quarterfinal round, Baltimore Union Elite will play Hartford United. The winners of those 2 matches will play in the semifinals. The bottom half of the bracket, Maryland Rush versus District Elite Intensity. And the final match, FC Frederick versus Severna Park Green. Again, the winners of those 2 matches will advance to the semifinals. We are now halfway through with the draw today, as we have 5 teams in the 15U boys. The St. Mary's Premier and Total Football Friends United have met continuity and will be seeded 1st and 2nd. The 4th versus 5th seed match will be held on May 9th, the semifinals on May 10th, and the spring final on May 17th. Gentlemen, let's begin with the 3rd seed in the 15U boys.
And with the 3rd seed, we have 2011 Maryland United FC Premier. And with the 4th seed, we have the Baltimore Union Elite 11B. And finally, with the 5th seed, we have Browser 11 Blue.
In the 15U boys, we have 5 teams in this particular bracket. As you can see, the team that had the highest seeding, St. Mary's Premier, they automatically move on to the semifinal. In the quarterfinals, we have a matchup between Brasa Blue and Baltimore Union Elite. The winner of that matchup will play against St. Mary's Premier. In the bottom half of the semifinal, the Maryland United Premier will play against Tacoma Futsal United Friends, and the winner of that matchup will advance to the final spring championship game. Moving on to the 16U girls, who have 8 teams in their bracket, with the Baltimore Union Elite and Liverpool NAL meeting continuity and seeded first and second. The quarterfinals will be held on May 3rd, the semifinals on May 10th, and the spring final on May 17th, with the winner advancing to the national championship berth match. Let's go to the draw for the 16U girls, beginning with the 3rd seed.
With the 3rd seed, we have FCGB 2010 U16 Girls Academy. And with the 4th seed, we have Baltimore Bays Pride 2010 Girls USYS National League. With the 5th seed, we have Old Line FC Girls 10 Black. And with the 6th seed, we have the Maryland Rush 10G Nationals. With the 7th seed, we have FC Frederick 10G. And finally, with the 8th seed, we have Maryland Rush 10G.
Now we look at the 16U girls as we get into the older age groups. Again, this age group has 8 teams, which mean that all teams will start out in the quarterfinal round. The matchups include Baltimore Union Elite will go up against the Maryland Rush. And in the other top of the bracket matchup, Old Line Black will play Baltimore Bays Pride. Now moving to the bottom of the bracket, SCGB Center of Excellence Academy will go up against the Maryland Rush Nationals. And in the final matchup, FC Frederick will go up against Liverpool NAL. The winners of these 4 matchups will advance to the semifinals. In the 16U boys, one of our larger age groups with 14 teams, the Lions White were the only team that met continuity and will be seeded first. The round of 16 will be held on April 19th. Quarterfinals on Saturday, May 9th. Semifinals on May 10th, so teams will need to keep this weekend completely open. And the spring final on May 17th. Patrick and Nathan, let's begin with the 2nd seed.
With the 2nd seed, we have Real Elite 2010 Boys White. With the 3rd seed, we have Thunder Soccer Club Napoli. With the 4th seed, we have U16 NLS Ajax. And with the 5th seed, we have BUSA 10 Green. With the 6th seed, we have Old Line FC Boys 10, Black 2. With the 7th seed, we have OBGC Rangers Blue 2010. With the 8th seed, we have Go Premier Soccer 10, Black. With the 9th seed, we have SAC Boys 2010 Premier Blue. In the 10th seed, we have Berwyn Heights 2010 Wolfpack. And the 11th seed is Rockville Soccer Club 2010. Seed number 12 is Browser 10 Blue. Seed number 13 is FC Charles 10 Boys Red. And finally, seed number 14 is 2010 Maryland United FC Elite.
Now we have our second largest group, which is the 16 boys bracket. The two teams with byes into the quarterfinals with the 1st and 2nd seed are the Lions White from the top and the Real Elite White from the bottom. Now the SAC Premier Blue in the round of 16, which starts on April the 19th, SAC Premier Blue versus Go Premier Black. The winner will advance to play the Lions White in the quarterfinals. In the other round of 16 game will be BUSA Green, which is the Brazilian Soccer Academy, versus Brasa Blue. And in the other matchup, FC Charles Red plays Next Level Ajax. In the bottom bracket, again, round of 16 on April 19th, the Berwyn Heights Wolfpack will go up against the Olney Rangers Blue. The winner of that matchup will play the Real Elite White, Real. The other matchups in the round of 16, Old Line Black number 2 team will play against Rockville Soccer Club. And in the final matchup, Maryland United Elite goes up against Thunder Napoli. Again, this should be a wide open, great group for 16 boys. The 17U girls have 9 teams in their bracket, with the Southern Maryland Rush Blue and Baltimore Union Elite meeting continuity and seeded 1st and 2nd. The 8th seed versus the 9th seed will take place on April 12th. Quarterfinals on May 3rd, semifinals on May 10th, with the championship on May 31st, with the winner advancing to the national championships.
With the 3rd seed, we have Bethesda ERL 2009. With the 4th seed, we have Browser 0910 Girls Blue. With the 5th seed, we have World Class Premier 2009 girls. And with the 6th seed, we have FCGB 2009 Girls Academy. With the 7th seed, we have FC Frederick 09 Girls. With the 8th seed, we have Cecil FC 2009 Girls. And finally, with seed number 9, we have Coppermine SC 2009 Girls Blue.
And now we find ourselves looking at the 17U girls bracket. Here is the main thing that comes out across this bracket. In the round of 16, the Coppermine Blue will go up against Cecil FC. This matchup opens up the State Cup competition on April the 12th. We're looking forward to that. The winner of that matchup will then advance to May 3rd and play against the Southern Maryland Rush Blue in the quarterfinals. The other quarterfinal matchups, World Class Premier will play against Brazza Blue. The next matchup, the Bethesda ERL goes up against FCGB, Center of Excellence Academy. And in the final quarterfinal matchup, FC Frederick plays against Baltimore Union Elite. Again, this division, like the 14 boys, there is no winter champion. So the winner of this bracket will automatically advance to the National Championship Finals in Tennessee, representing Maryland. 10 teams are registered in the 17U boys age group, with only the Arundel Jovenis Elite meeting continuity and seeded first. The round of 16 will be played on April 19th, quarterfinals on May 9th, semifinals on May 10th, and the spring final on May 17th. We begin with the 2nd seed.
With the 2nd seed, we have Cerritos 2009 Blue. With the 3rd seed, we have Browser 09 Blue. And with seed number 4, we have Knights FC 09B Red. And in the 5th seed, we have Potomac Orange 09 Boys. Good catch. And with the 6th seed, we have FC USA 2009 Bombers. And the 7th seed is Tacoma Sport for Life Blue 09. And in the 8th seed, we have SMS 2009 Boys Premier. With seed number 9, we have Lions White 2009. finally, in the 10th seed, we have Tacoma Thunder NL 2009 boys.
Now we look at the 10-team, 17 boys bracket for State Cup. As you can see, there are two matchups in the round of 16. First of all, the Lions White will face off against St. Mary's Premier on April 19th. The winner will then advance to Arundel Juventus. In the other round of 16 matchup, Tacoma Thunder will go up against Tacoma Sport for Life. This is again a Tacoma Derby here in the round of 16. The winner of the Tacoma Thunder versus Tacoma Sport for Life will go up against Cerritos Blue in the quarterfinals. The other two quarterfinal matchups that are already set, Potomac Orange versus Knights Red, and the FC USA Bombers will play against Brazza Blue. In the combined 18 and 19 girls age group, we have 8 teams entered, with the Maryland Rush, Southern Maryland Rush Kraken, and FCGB Center of Excellence meeting continuity and seeded first, second, and third. Quarterfinals will be on May 3rd, semifinals on May 17th, and the finals on May 31st, with the winner advancing to the national championships. Let's go to the second to last draw, beginning with the 4th seed.
With the 4th seed, we have Maryland Rush 07G Royals. With the 5th seed, we have Shore FC 2000 Girls Elite NL. With the 6th seed, we have FC Frederick 0708 Girls. With the 7th seed, we have Baltimore Union Elite 0708 Girls. And finally, we have Browser 0809 Girls Blue.
And now we finish up with the girls' brackets here in the U18, U19. Again, there are 8 teams in this particular bracket. All teams will start out in the quarterfinal round on May 3rd. The first matchup will have the Maryland Rush going up against Brazza Blue. The other matchup in the top of the bracket is Shore FC Elite versus the Maryland Rush Royals, who are the 2-time champions, but many of their girls graduated, so they are not seeded for this year. In the bottom of the bracket, FCGB, Center of Excellence Academy, got the 3rd seed from last year, and they go up against FC Frederick. And the final matchup, which should be an excellent matchup, is Baltimore Union Elite going up against Southern Maryland Rush Kraken. Again, this is the final bracket where there was no Winter Cup division. So the winner of this bracket on May 31st advances to the national championships representing our great state of Maryland. Last but certainly not least is our largest draw of the competition. The 18U and 19U boys combined age group, which has 15 teams, including the St. Mary's Premier, which met continuity and is seeded first. The competition for this age group begins on April 19th, with the quarterfinals on May 9th, semifinals on May 10th, and again, please keep this weekend completely open, and spring finals on May 17th. Winner advances to May 31st for the National Championship berth match. Let's send it over to Patrick and Nathan one last time for this draw, which begins at the 2nd seed. Thanks to both of you for a great job with the draw today.
With the second seed, we have World Class Premier 2008 Boys Blue. With the third seed, we have FC Baltimore Crew 08 Boys. In the fourth seed, we have Maryland Bobcats 2008 Boys Warriors. With the fifth seed, we have Browser 0708 Blue. With the sixth seed, we have Rockville Soccer Club 2008-07 Boys. In the seventh seed, we have the 07-08 Maryland United FC Premier. With the eighth seed, we have Browser 08-09 Blue. And with the ninth seed, we have Sac Boys 08-07 Premier Blue. With seed number 10, we have MSI 07-08 Boys Gold. Seed number 11, we have FC Charles 08-07 Boys Red. In the 12th seed, we have Top Rank Soccer 2008 Boys Black. And with the 13th seed, we have FC Frederick 07-08 Boys National League. And with the 14th seed, we have U19-18 NLS Ajax. And with the final 15th seed, we have NPC FF 07-08 Academy.
And now we come to the final bracket, the U18, the U19 boys. As I said earlier, our largest bracket this year. The only team that received a seed works out perfectly for them because they get a bye into the quarterfinals, and that's St. Mary's Premier. The other matchups will all be on April 19th in the round of 16. Let's take a look at some of these phenomenal matchups. First of all, Sac Premier Blue goes up against Brasa Blue 08-09. The winner of that matchup will go up against St. Mary's in the quarterfinals. The next two matchups, Brasa Blue 07-08 versus Top Rank Black. The winner of that matchup would go up against FC Frederick NL and the Maryland Bobcat Warriors. In the bottom of the bracket, these are all round of 16 games. FC Baltimore Crew goes up against next level Ajax. And then FC Charles Red will play against Rockville Soccer Club. And then in the very bottom, the Maryland United Premier will play MSI Gold in the round of 16. And the final matchup is NPC Academy versus World Class Premier Blue. So that concludes our draw for tonight. Let's look next at the national championship dates and locations. For the first time ever, USU Soccer is holding a State Cup National Invitational Tournament for the 11U and 12U age groups. Maryland U Soccer is hosting the tournament the weekend of June 27th and 28th at the SAC Soccer Complex. We are so excited to have this competition right in our state. For the national championships, Maryland has been placed in the Super Division in both girls and boys, which includes 22 state champions and 10 National League qualifiers. There will be 8 groups of 4 teams, with the winners of each group advancing to the quarterfinal. You can see here that the girls' national championships will be held in Tennessee and the boys will be held in Utah. Again, thanks to everyone for watching today's program, and good luck to all the Maryland teams in this year's State Cup competition.